I've been coming here for about 4 months now. Here's my story, and I'm a little nervous, so I'm reading off a piece of paper, and Okay, so my childhood was unstable and painful for many years. I was the oldest of 3 girls and always felt like I didn't belong. At a very young age, I was a victim of sexual abuse, suffered a lot of loss, and was a witness to addiction. At age 12, my mother, who was age 29, died of cervical cancer in our home. So at 9:15 a.m. on May 16th, that was the day she passed away, and that day was such a blur. From that point, my life became even more unstable. I felt unloved, abandoned. I felt like I was just a small dot on this huge earth. After bouts of foster care, my Aunt Vicky and Uncle John took me and my sisters in. She was really strict, which I hated because I was boy crazy. We weren't allowed to hang out with friends from school or talk to boys on the phone, which I snuck and called them anyways, but we went to church Sundays, Bible study, youth groups. The summer of 9th grade, I was at church and my friends were up on stage talking about going on a missions trip to Mongolia. I thought it was pretty cool, and I was looking around when all of a sudden this overwhelming power overtook me and I started crying, and I didn't know what was going on, but I knew at that point that God was telling me that I was going to Mongolia. So I raised $7,000 in donations in 2 weeks and took a 22-hour flight across the country to the capital city of Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar. We built a 9-hole miniature golf course, and that was our way to spread the word of Jesus. That was the best experience in my life, where I learned about who he was, what he was capable of, and what his presence felt like. So I came home and went to school the following year and witnessed to a lot of kids, carried my Bible to class and had no shame in it, and I was known as like the Jesus, freak and whatever, but that was who I was. So after I turned 18, I moved out and pushed God to the side. In my 20s, I became an alcoholic and a binge drinker, covering up mental health issues that I never knew existed, and my drinking continued until I became pregnant with my daughter, Rylan, who was the best gift ever. After I had her, I didn't go back to drinking, but I did start abusing prescription pills, and immediately I became addicted because it was like no hangover, and it was no hangover. So many years of covering my anxiety and then covering up my shame of using. So eventually that led to a loss of morals and my values and my beliefs, loss of any respect for myself or anybody else, and I lost all the trust in my family. Eventually, I lost custody of my daughter and lost my husband. This downward spiral continued into self-destruction, breaking laws, committing crimes, theft, prostitution, legal troubles. By the end of it all, from age 30 to 32, I had been to jail 10 times and to prison, which I had never even had a speeding ticket before the time I was age 30, so all this happened in 2 years. Going to prison was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. It was exactly where he wanted to get me alone with nobody or nothing else in this world but him to turn to. So I finally surrendered and turned my life and will over to him. Today, because of him, I've been sober for 14 months and have a great relationship with my daughter, who loves me unconditionally. I have an amazing fiance. I have relationships with my sisters. I'm able to be the sister and daughter and mother and friend that I've wanted to be for so long. And because of my relationship with him, I've been able to give him everything and no longer am a slave to my past shame and mistakes. And I choose to use every last bit of my past and pain for a purpose. Hopefully my testimony will help somebody else turn to Jesus.